Glad you made it, snuck in there under the wire, Glenn, at the last few seconds. So well done. Perseverance pays off. And now we've lost Amanda. Okay. So welcome everybody to my regular Sunday evening Wealth Warriors presentation. A very exciting presentation this evening. Things are really starting to take shape in terms of Wealth Warriors and what it's going to be doing, and the types of things that we're going to be bringing to you, some of which you've never seen before in a multi-level marketing environment, some of which will be absolutely life-changing for you, not in the sense of let's get some hype around this little platform that's going to produce a few percent today and here today and gone tomorrow. Again, what we've been putting together for the last 6 months is really starting to take shape and giving us the security that we need to be able to start small and work for a long time to build it big. Again, that's what we get out of Wealth Warriors, is the security of being able to, of knowing that we're going to be working with these platforms for a very, very long time. And you might be thinking, well, nobody can guarantee a particular platform is going to last. And of course, nobody can, and we don't. But what we have done is developed a system where it doesn't matter what the platforms do. The platforms don't matter. And it does surprise me still. People are still saying to me, well, I like this platform, I don't like that platform. That's not the point of it. The point is the platforms will come and go. It's the community that will survive. And together as a community, we will make a lot of money, and we will start building our generational wealth and our own personal wealth from this point forward. And it doesn't matter what the platforms do. We try to avoid scams and poor business practices and this sort of thing. We try and avoid them all. But once in a while, if we get caught in one, it really doesn't matter. We pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and get on with it again, because we don't ever reset ourselves to zero. We don't go back to the beginning and start again. It's not really a rug pull. It's maybe just a little bit of a rug slide. Okay, we don't have the ladder pulled out from underneath us. We just get knocked down a couple of rungs. That's all. So you'll see that when I finish this presentation, you'll understand that. And if you don't, watch the video when it comes out on YouTube. Just keep looking at it, keep talking to people about it, because when you eventually understand what I'm doing here, it will amaze you. You will be really, really glad that you're part of this. If you don't understand it, then sorry, if you're not really, really glad you're part of it, then it's because you don't understand it. And that sounds very grand, but it took me a long, long time. Plenty of false starts, plenty of dead ends, cul-de-sacs, turn around, go back the way I started. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, okay? All that sort of stuff, because I didn't really understand it. I knew roughly what I was looking for, but as it came together, bits fell out, new bits were put in, and I didn't understand it myself. When I eventually developed it, I looked at it and I thought, is this a finished product? And I think it pretty much is. But it took me a while to understand it. So if you don't understand it, just keep looking at it until you do. You'll be glad that you did. And in reality, this is what this space, this online business space, has been looking for. And I know that's true because some of the biggest network leaders in the world have already started to imitate what we're doing. Okay, some of you know some of them, and they are, and I've had plenty of messages from some of these leaders saying, can you show me how you're doing what you're doing? Okay, so we know we're on the right track. Everybody recognizes that we need the security this system can bring. Not everybody can produce it. I hope some more people can, not just me, but not everybody can because they don't have the right mindset. Everybody's still focused on platforms, and the platform really, they say, oh, we're here to build a community, but they don't really mean that. What they mean is, I'm going to build a community as long as when I get into my next platform, I make lots of money from it. That's not the idea of what we're trying to do at all. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to take you through a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. It won't be death by PowerPoint. There's not that many slides in here. But I thought we'd change it up a little bit and have a couple of Viking shield maidens as our warriors for this video. Okay, so welcome to Wealth Warriors, and we are financial freedom fighters. And I love that tagline because that's exactly how I see us. I see us as the band of rebels that I've got we've got right on our side. We're fighting against the tyranny and against the oppressive systems, against the totalitarian systems, the dictators. We're the rebels running around in the jungle trying to survive because we know we're doing the right thing. And we have such an array of forces marshaled against us. When you eventually find out what these forces are, and how they're shored up, how they're really taking control of the whole world in such a way that most of us don't even know the level of control that's being exerted to keep us in our place, you will be amazed. It will scare you a little bit. Hopefully it'll scare you a little bit, because it's very, very insidious. And I see us as the rebels fighting against this massive force. We're like the Luke Skywalker fighting against the Empire, you know. So that's how I see us, financial freedom fighters, because all of these forces do not want you and I to make a lot of money. Okay, the whole thing is rigged so that the control system that's put in place means that if you and I can make a lot of money, we can get out from that control system. That's what they really don't want. So they prevent us from making money. And you know this to be true in your heart of hearts. You know this to be true. You know you're a clever person. You know that you're not afraid of hard work. You know you live in a time in history when there's more wealth on the planet than there's ever been in the whole history of the world. Every day there's more and more wealth created. Okay, and yet you and I, clever people, hardworking people, with some of the best tools and techniques at our disposal in terms of the internet and cryptocurrency and online trading and so on, all these wonderful inventions, you and I can't become financially free. So if we can't do it, then if collectively nobody you know is doing it, then there's got to be some forces marshaled against us to prevent that from happening. Okay, it's not by accident. Otherwise, we'd all know a few people that have become wealthy doing this, and we don't. We don't. Okay, so that's us, the financial freedom fighters, wealth warriors. Couple of disclaimers. One is nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial or investment advice. You can't pay money into Wealth Warriors. We're not a platform, we're a community. So there's no fee for becoming part of Wealth Warriors. But still remember that I'm not giving you financial advice or investment advice. You can ask me what would I do in a certain circumstance, or I could tell you what I think would be a good idea for most people. That may not apply to you, okay? So don't take it as financial advice. If you want financial advice, go and get yourself a proper accountant who understands these things and pay for your advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community. I've said that. If you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money that you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. And number 4, have a strategy to recoup your initial investment as soon as possible and create a large income over time by withdrawing a percentage of the profits. So what's the problem with online businesses? Well, the first thing is there's just too many scams out there. I've identified what I call a universal template. And from that universal template, I think I've probably looked at about 120 different businesses. And I'd love to see this template because it's quite clever. I think that these people can go there, use this template to create their own platforms. But the platforms can all be tailored to what they want. But it doesn't matter if they say they're going to be getting you involved in gold and oil and cannabis and pensions and stocks and shares and everything else. When it comes down to it, the only platform that you can actually invest in is cryptocurrency. And even then, you're not sure if it's cryptocurrency because it's just a case of buying a package, and that package may or may not have anything behind it. And you're going to get 1% a day or 2% a week or whatever it is, okay? And they all come from, as far as I can tell, they all come from the same template. They've all got the same look and feel about them. And I've written pages and pages and posted it in our Wealth Warriors group about why these platforms are scams. And in fact, there is one that I've been looking at that's made by that template, and I'm trying hard to prove that it's a scam, and it might be the only legitimate platform that came from that stable, but we'll see. Anyway, so there are just too many scams out there, and the problem with scams is that they all sound good, and they promise us the earth, and it's all well and good until one day they run away with the money. When you're running a scam, it's a mathematical process. It's not luck. There's a certain couple of things that you monitor. One is how much money you've got sat in the account of your members' money, and the other is how much money you've got to pay out to people. Okay, and when those lines cross, anytime after that point, it's a good time to just pull the plug and walk away with all that profit. Okay, so these things don't happen by accident. There are too many scams out there. And a good scam, I maintain that somebody who's really, really determined to scam us all can. We just can't check enough. We just haven't got enough control over the platform. So all we can do is do what we do in Wealth Warriors. We follow our rules. And even if it is a scam, we don't get hurt too much. So that's our plan, or part of our plan. Some of those businesses aren't scams, but they are so poorly run that they go bust. And sometimes that's our fault, the affiliates, the networkers, sometimes it's our fault because these businesses don't realize that what a lot of networkers are going to do is get into their platform for $500 and they want to take out $500 a day after 2 months. They want to take out $50,000 a month. They want to take out $100,000 a month. Okay, and all they've paid in is $500. So it's not impossible, but probably the business hasn't been set up to operate like that. And so therefore, they're so poorly run, they go bust. Last year, I had 2 different business owners come to me and say, Andy, you know about these things. Can you help me put my platform back online? They operated for a while. They had great initial success, but the commission system got raped in exactly the same way I just explained to you. And they came to me independently and said, I want to take the business offline for a while, rebuild it and put it back online, but I want it done then in such a way that it's going to be sustainable going forward. And both of them were guys that were scammers. They were decent, genuine guys. If I mention their names, you probably know them. But they had some programming skills. They had $15 million sat on a Trezor device in their back pocket. And they had 2 or 3 coders who they could call on to help them as they need to. They thought that would be enough to run a big multi-million or even multi-billion-dollar business. And it isn't. The platform is one thing. The business behind it is something completely different. And neither of them realize that. When I drew up a list of all the things they need in order to turn this into a viable business, both of them looked at it, big long list of things that they need to do to put the company in place, not the platform, but the company. They both of them decided it wasn't worth the effort to restart their businesses. Okay, they just walked away because they just didn't understand what they were doing. They're not bad people, they just didn't understand about business. They understood about coding a platform, but that's not good enough. So that's one of the problems. The other problem is those businesses aren't scams and don't go bust, get shut down by the regulators and government departments. Okay, and these government departments, the SEC, the FCA and so on, they're all there purportedly to look after you and I, the investor. But I can prove that that's not true, because how many times have you been involved in a platform that gets shut down by the SEC and they take them, they seize all the company's assets and they give you your money back? Okay, and I've yet to have anybody tell me, yes, the SEC shut that business down and gave me my money back. They're not interested in protecting the investors. They say they are, but they're not. So that's the problem with online businesses. What else? It doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses. You cannot become truly free. You can't become financially free, time free, or free from government control, because we are in a control matrix. Okay, so yes, you can make a lot of money. You can have a much, much easier life. But as you've seen from certain things that happen with big, big money men, big financial people all over the world, if people have got it in for you, then there is no peace for you. You cannot really become free unless you have a plan for doing so. And most people don't have that plan. So what can we do? Well, individually, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. We can't suddenly develop a whole new mindset, a whole new set of rules and understanding, and suddenly start doing things differently. Okay, so that's what Wealth Warriors is about, is to try and help people, give people information so that they can make that step change, so they don't have to keep repeating the mistakes of the past. Collectively, we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls of the industry. I'd like to say we can help everybody avoid the pitfalls, but sometimes that's not possible. We got involved in a platform a little while ago, about 2 months ago now, and of all the hundreds of wealth warriors that could have gotten involved in that, we put about 20 people in to try it out. I've been involved in it for a little while, and it all looked good. Put 20 more people in, and one of our suggestions is start with the minimum that you can get away with and get your money back out as quickly as you can. And about half of those people did manage to get their money back out, and the other half got scammed out of anything from nothing to $100. Okay, so a few of us paid the price for the rest of us being able to avoid that scam. Now, it's unfortunate that there were any that had to lose some money, but we didn't lose thousands upon thousands of dollars. We lost a few dollars, less than 100. Okay, so collectively we work together, and next time it won't be you that loses $50. Next time it might be somebody else. Okay, but collectively we help most of us avoid the pitfalls. Who would want to be the first one to cross the minefield, or would you rather follow somebody who's already crossed safely? And that's what we tried to do. I'm not particularly heroic, but very often I'm the first one across the minefield. But sometimes that's not good enough. But as I said, we were involved in a platform a couple of months ago. Okay, everything was fine with me. It was other people that was reporting to me that this company is suddenly asking for extra fees, extra money for this, extra money for that. They didn't do it to me. They did it to some other people. Okay, so I wasn't the one who got blown up in that case, unfortunately. And we're safer together, and with safety comes time. It might sound strange, but if you think about it, it makes sense that if we can get involved in some platforms that are going to be safe, it gives us time to start small, be diligent with our strategy, and build. And by building, we can create a large asset. That large asset can create us a large income. And I'll show you some of that on a spreadsheet a bit later. Develop a plan and then follow that plan to become truly free. So benefits to the members. Now, if you've seen this bit before, I've changed these benefits because they are even more concrete now than they ever were before. They're more solid, they're less nebulous. Okay, they're concrete, hard facts of benefits that you will receive if you take Wealth Warriors seriously. So benefit one is you never reset your growing finances to zero just because one platform fails. Like I said about the platform that failed a couple of months ago. Okay, everybody involved in Wealth Warriors didn't get reset back to zero. A few people lost $30, $40, $50. Okay, so that wasn't a major disaster. It was annoying, but it wasn't a major disaster. And you don't get reset to zero. And you'll see that from a little demonstration I'll give in a minute. So this gives you time to develop a long-term approach to building the product. And the product side generally is passive, some way of generating a passive income. So we like to have platforms that you get a passive income, and when you introduce people, you get some commissions for that. You haven't got to do both of those, but that's generally what we like to be offering within a platform. Benefit two is introduce your friends and family to a system, knowing they will make money from the system. You'll never have to feel guilt and letting people down and losing the money. There's so many people that get involved in their first networking business, introduce all their friends because they think it's the best thing since sliced bread. When the whole thing goes belly up and everybody loses money, they feel terrible. And they want to avoid their relatives. Their relatives are happy because they want to avoid them. Okay, and nobody ever speaks of it again. What a disaster that turned out to be. Okay, and that's kind of what happens if you aren't realistic about the platforms. Just be realistic that none of us know if a platform's going to work or not. So just be sensible. Don't put all your pension fund or don't sell your house and put all your equity into something that you just don't know is going to work. Start small, build over a long period of time, and build it big. Okay, so you don't have to lose your contacts, your friends, your family, your work colleagues, and so on. Benefit three, start every new platform with an existing community. So you don't start a new platform and think, right, there's just me all on my own. Where am I going to get some people? What we do is we create a permanent network. As people join your platforms, then we turn them into a permanent network for you. So when we start a new platform, if you've got a business with 10 people in your group, then those 10 people slot into that brand new platform, and already you've got 10 people in that platform. Already you've got, you're part way up the bonus system. from day one. So that what that means is you can actually take time to build relationships with people. It also means that no, I'll come on to that in a minute. Okay, so you start every new platform with an existing community. I've never seen anything like it where you can offer that to people. So with the new platform we're introducing today, we can reclaim all the money you paid out in the recent past. At the moment, what we're doing is we're offering people the option to reclaim every single penny that you've spent out from all of your checking accounts, or in the UK we call them current accounts. Okay, from the last, at the moment from 2022, fairly soon we're going to be turning our attention to 2023. And after that, going forward, is going to be every single year. In January or February of the following year, you'll claim for the previous year all of your outgoings, even if you write a check to cash, or you paid for a holiday, bought a new car, whatever it is you did, it doesn't matter. Okay, all the outgoings from your checking current account you can claim back again. It's called recoupment. You can repay your debts for car loans, mortgages, home improvement loans, etc. And you can reclaim all the mortgages you've ever created. For some of us, that will be a huge amount of money coming in. Benefit 5, become a free person. And this is becoming more and more important as I work through this stuff and I'm looking for platforms and so on. I'm beginning to realize that the real goal is to become a free person. So there's a system that I can introduce you to where you can create as much currency as you need in order to live an abundant life. Now, I don't know what you would think an abundant life is. You might say, well, I need $100,000 a year to live on, and if I get that, then I don't have to work. I can just live a nice, comfortable lifestyle. You might say I need 500,000. You might say I need 5 million. Okay, but there's a system where you can create as much currency as you need in order to live an abundant life. You can join an alternative economy as well to resist lockdowns, mass mandates, government interference in your life, basically in all different guises. You can shield your possessions from government interference. Okay, so you children won't have to pay inheritance tax on anything you leave them. You won't have to pay tax on anything that capital gains on anything that you buy at one price and sell at another. You shield your possessions from government interference, and you never need to pay taxes again. Okay, so they're just some of the benefits, 5 real benefits of becoming part of the Wealth Warriors movement. So I'm going to give you an example of how this all works, how Wealth Warriors works, not how those platforms work. They're related. Those last few slides are relating to what we can get from the platforms. But I'm going to talk to you about how Wealth Warriors works. So let's assume we have 4 different platforms and you have 10 people in your group. So therefore you'll have 10 people in all of those platforms. They'll be in exactly the same lines of sponsorship in all 4 platforms. Let's suppose you're making $1,000 per month in each of the 4 platforms. Therefore, your total income is $4,000 per month. So let's see what that looks like. This is you in platform 1, and you've introduced Alan, Bell, and Chris. Alan's introduced all the A's, Bell's introduced all the B's, and Chris has introduced all the C's. And because of those people in your group and the amount of business they're doing, your income is $1,000 per month. Okay, so let's move that up to make room for platform 2. The platform 2 is exactly the same size and shape as platform 1. You have exactly the same people. They've all signed up in exactly the same lines of sponsorship. And if your turnover from platform, so your income from platform 2 is $1,000 per month, then your income in total across both platforms is $2,000 per month. Okay, we don't need to be a rocket scientist to work that one out. Now we develop platform 3. Platform 3 is exactly the same size and shape as platform 1 and 2. The same people with the same lines of sponsorship. Okay, so now your income is $3,000 per month. And we also have platform 4. So your income is $4,000 per month. So let's suppose we run with 4 platforms for a period of time, a few weeks, a few months, maybe hopefully a few years. Okay, so you've got the same 10 people month after month, year after year, and you're making $4,000 per month. But then at some point, the government decides they're going to improve things, and they go after one of the platforms, and let's just say platform 4, and they shut it down, and everything's tied up. Nobody can withdraw any money, and so therefore platform 4, to all intents and purposes, disappears, and your income drops all the way down to $3,000 per month. Now the reality is that the longer you build these businesses, then the more people get put in. So your $4,000 a month would have increased over a period of time. But let's ignore that and say that it just stayed at exactly the same size. And so your income's dropped all the way to $3,000 per month. But also look at what's happened to the relationships between you and those people. Nothing. Nobody's gone off angry, thinking, oh, they've lost everything, lost all their money. None of that. Okay. You still have the same relationships in the same configurations with the same people. Okay, so by doing this, it's built resistance against a platform disappearing on us for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is. We're more secure. We have a more robust business than we did have if we were focused on the platforms rather than being focused on the community. So now, a few weeks down the road, we go out, we find another platform, and let's call that platform 4 to save confusion. And as soon as you start platform 4, you say to Alan and Belle and Chris, right, we've got another platform. Here's my referral link. Do your stuff. So they both go and sign up in it. And then they give their referral links to their people, who give their referral links to their people, and so on. And within a day or two of you joining platform 4, you've got platform 4 in exactly the same configuration as the other platforms. And so now it's reasonable to assume that your income from platform 4 is the same, or it's certainly more than zero. Let's say that it's more than zero. It might take you a little while to build up your asset again to create that sort of income, but you're on the right track. You're building, you're growing. You've got people around you that you're going to be with for a long time, and you have security. You have a robustness to your business that you don't get anywhere else. Now, this idea of signing up in the same lines of sponsorship over and over and over again is actually a great idea, even though I say so myself. It sounds like I'm being braggadocious. I don't mean to be, but I'll tell you why it's a good idea. Is because very often people look at a platform and they say, I want to be the first one in because then I can get everybody I know, including my upline from all these other businesses, I can get them all into my business. What people don't realize is that by doing that, it actually destroys relationships. Okay, whereas if you know that when your upline has introduced a new business or going to introduce a new business, you know exactly who's going to sign up below you. You know exactly who you're going to sign up below. Okay, there's a comfort in that. There's sense to it. There's no need to be out there scrabbling around trying to be the first one in. And then, of course, if you're the first one in, you're the one who's got to be upline to those people and find out everything and teach and train and motivate everybody. And it's not necessarily the best thing to do. The best thing to do is to have the same relationship with the same people in every single platform, because that's how it works. So that's the benefits, real benefits to being in Wealth Warriors. But if you want the benefits, you must meet your commitments. Okay, if you say to your boss, okay, so you're going to pay me if I come and do 40 hours work a week for 4 weeks, then you'll pay me my monthly salary. Okay, now if you don't turn up and meet your commitments and do the work that he's asking you to do, you're not gonna have the benefit of having the money at the end of the month. Okay, it's the same the world over. If you want the benefits, you must meet your commitments. So what are your commitments to Wealth Warriors? One is to maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Okay, don't try and pick people out of the depth of your group because you like them and you've been working with them. Make sure their upline gets involved in what you're doing. I've actually seen this recently. In fact, you saw this as well. Most of you were with me when this happened. We built a large business in a platform last year this time. And all of a sudden, our upline started sending out messages to everybody in our groups saying, I'm also doing this other platform, and here's my referral link. Okay, that destroyed a large proportion of his business and my business and your business probably, because People don't like that. It's untrustworthy. That's not a decent thing to do. It's not a moral thing to do. You know, if you introduce your brother-in-law and then all of a sudden he's working with somebody else, you know, it ruins relationships. So don't do that. Maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Sign up in all the platforms we adopt. Don't try and second guess it and say, well, I like this one, I don't like that one. Just sign up in all of them, because imagine out of the 4 platforms we've got on the go now, you decide you only want to do one. Okay, so you put all your time and effort and all of your spare cash into doing one, and that's the one that goes bust on us in 3 months' time. The fact that everybody else has survived because they've got 3 other platforms producing an income for them is absolutely no benefit to you at all, because you only had the one. So you didn't really get any of the benefits of being part of Wealth Warriors because you didn't meet your commitments to Wealth Warriors. The whole system makes sense, but you've got to do the whole system. So sign up in all the platforms, whether you like them or not. Get your personally introduced people to do the same. And support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. You don't need to be an expert, but just understand a little bit about what currencies are being used, and you know, how to put money in, how to take money out, just a little bit. You haven't got to be an expert, because there are experts in all of these platforms elsewhere. We can go on their webinars or their Zoom calls. We can read their material and so on. Okay, so you don't have to be an expert, but you do need to know your way around all of the different platforms we're involved with. And number 5 is support and encourage all other wealth warriors. And it's even those that you're not financially involved with. In fact, it does your soul good to help somebody who you've got absolutely no vested interest in that person at all. Okay, you feel good about helping somebody. You feel good about helping anybody. But if that person you're going to make some money on anyway if they succeed, it sort of takes the shine off it. But if there's no chance of you benefiting from helping that person, it just gives you a warm fuzzy. Okay, so I'll just grab some coffee. Excellent. So what about the platforms that we adopt? The criteria. One is it must be available in the whole world, so not excluded in any territory or any country. It must be available in the whole world. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. Okay, we don't like binaries or pyramids or forced matrices, anything like that. And you'll see why in just a second. And people must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, i.e. $100. So the reason we want all of those 3 is because the combination means we can maintain the lines of sponsorship across all the platforms. If we had a platform that wasn't available, for example, in the United States, we couldn't maintain lines of sponsorship, because as soon as somebody's in the States, they can't join. If it's a binary program, a binary compensation plan, then half your people go in one leg and half your people go in another leg, so you've destroyed your lines of sponsorship. And people must be able to join for free, because if the entry point is, like it was on a business I looked at this time last year, $27,500, then I can't ask everybody to get involved at $27,500. $100, yes. If somebody's serious about becoming financially free in the next couple of years, in fact, quicker than that now with these new programs I'm bringing on board, okay, then $100 isn't too much, because we've got 4 platforms. $100 in each of 4 platforms is $400, and I maintain that pretty much anybody in the world can come up with $400 if they have faith that what we're doing is going to work. Number 4, it must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. And I have so many people present things to me, and I say, we can't do that. That's a money game. And they say, what do you mean a money game? I say, well, people put money in at one end and you take money out at the other end. It's just a Ponzi scheme. Oh, no, because it goes to a coin and then it does that. And then we put it on the top shelf for 5 minutes. And then, yeah, but it's still, that money is just being moved around. And eventually nobody's doing anything to increase that money. Nobody's trading it or selling things, or there's just nothing happening with the money. The only thing that's happening is being passed from one end of the chain to the other end of the chain before you take it out. And of course, when people, I understand people are emotionally involved in their platforms, the things that they like, but we just can't get involved in money games because eventually they're going to go, and the last ones in are the ones that lose a lot of money. And there's enough platforms out there, we don't need to do that. So we must be able to verify the company's legal status and its involvement in real world activities. So if they're trading, let's look at the trading. Okay, if they're doing crypto arbitrage, let's actually look at the crypto arbitrage, let's watch it happening. Okay, so that's what we try to do. If possible, we must be able to meet the CEO or business owner, and having met him, got all our questions answered. And there's a couple of businesses I'm looking to bring on board right now, but I can't tie the CEO down. The one person that I did manage to speak to, no, that's not what I was going to say. Isn't true. I did speak to somebody working for the company as an account manager, but they didn't seem to know all the answers to all the questions I had, so we can't progress with that yet. So the compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. And again, sometimes just run a quick calculator over it or put some figures into a spreadsheet. But you can see very, very quickly if there's if it's viable and sustainable. I looked at the company a few months ago now, doesn't matter. And I was talking to the CEO, and he was saying about how great the compensation plan was. And I said, but this whole thing doesn't work because you're giving away so much of the money that's coming in. You can't run your company. I think he was leaving himself 7% of the income to run the whole company on. And they came out later that it was just him. He didn't actually have any staff. So that was another reason for not doing it. But, you know, the company's got to make some profit in order to stay in business. And they've got accountants and solicitors and coders and traders and HR people, and you know, you've got to be able to feed all those mouths. And if we're taking too much out at our end of the business, then it's not going to work. As a company, it's not going to work. And the membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. I want to reword that, actually. I think I want to say every member of Wealth Warriors must be able to get behind the project, okay, which means that it's not borderline ethical, borderline moral, anything like that. It's either a straightforward business, good, legitimate, honest business, or we're not going to go anywhere near it. So that's the criteria that we want to use to adopt a platform. So what have we adopted so far? The first one is Property Robots, and Property Robots is crowdfunding. We crowdfund the manufacture of pre-sold house printing robots. Now, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail now. I've got one slide on each of these 4 different platforms. I'm going to go through it fairly quickly, but you can get onto every day these people do a Zoom call for Property Robots. Okay, so you can get there and learn all about it. The second one is that, again, with Property Robots, the same company that produced Property Robots has produced Fractional 3D. And instead of people buying the robots, we're involved in providing the liquidity so that people can rent the robots. Okay, so with the people buying it, that's one thing where they give half the money up front, the rest of the money on delivery. So they don't really need a lot of funding. They need a little. The maths don't quite work out, so they do need a little funding. But with the rental arm, somebody needs to buy that robot in order to rent it out. Well, that's what we do, is we buy the robot, and then when we rent it out, it gets rented out at $5,000 a day, and some of that comes back in as profit. It's very lucrative and highly sustainable. And most people want to, from the end user's point of view, it makes more sense to them to rent these robots rather than buy them. If you look at a typical construction company, they don't own their cranes and their bulldozers and their diggers and so on. They rent them as and when they need them. If they break down, the rental company has to come and fix it and give them a new one while it's out of commission. Makes a lot of sense for the end user to be renting all of their plant rather than buying it. And so Fractional 3D, that's the route that this is going. One day, Property Robots will be more of a long-term investment program. Fractional 3D will be the sort of thing where you get back some daily commissions, daily profits to take out and spend. Okay, so they're going to go in slightly different directions. but they are related because they're talking about the same robots. Trade Like Crazy is a great platform for live trading, and it's real cryptocurrency trading with verifiable results that are published daily. And again, they have their own Zoom calls and so on. And then Freedom Matrix is one which, in fact, Fractional 3D was we've introduced it now as a new platform, but it's been kind of thrust upon us by the property robots people. But Freedom Matrix is something I've been looking at now for 18 months. So I know the owner, I know a lot of the key managers and so on. And it's a step-by-step plan to become free, literally free from all government control, all financial control, generate as much currency as you need in order to live a free life. And as you find out about that, you're going to absolutely love it. So, property robots, you can invest. At the moment, you can invest between $100 and $100,000. The first 3 packages are going to disappear soon. You're not going to be able to invest, or the least you're going to be able to invest in property robots will be $1,000. Yeah, so the 100, the 250, and the 500 package will be going. The cheapest one will be $1,000. When you purchase a plan, you select whether it's going to be a fixed term or a flexible term. Fixed term, you get all your profit back at the end of the plan, but it doubles so the plan matures in 168 days. Or if you want to be able to access your profit every single day, then get the flexible term, and it doubles in 252 days. So there we go, a bit of a balancing act. Do I want profit? Do I want a better return? And what I've done, in fact, is half and half, well, roughly half and half. But I like the idea of the flexible terms, because every time I get another $100 back out, I buy another plan. We'll talk about that in a second. So if you're using the fixed term approach, then you can 4x your money every year, because you put in, say, $1,000 here. After 6 months, you've got $2,000, and after 12 months, you've got $4,000. So then the following year, it becomes $8,000. And then at the end of the year, it's 16,000 and so on. So you can see that you don't need very many years before that $1,000 is multiplied out to be 64, 128, $256,000. So 4 years, you're looking at some very, very significant money. Now, what we like about property robots is it's here to stay, because it's here to solve the global housing crisis. And that's been 40 years in the making. We're not going to solve that in less than 25 years. Okay, so this business is going to be around for 20, 25, maybe 30 years. Profits returned to your back office daily in USDT TRC20 and can be withdrawn at any time. That's the flexible term ones. Otherwise, the fixed term, you just get it at the end of your plan. Compound passive earnings by buying more plans with your profits. You can introduce others for commissions and to achieve one-off rank bonuses. The cheapest rank bonuses are $250. The most expensive ones are 4 million. You can invest in plans between, rewind. So that's the end of property robots. Fractional 3D, you can invest in plans. The pricing of the plan is exactly the same, $100 up to $100,000. The difference is they double in 6 months, exactly to the day. Excuse me. So that's the equivalent of 0.55% per day. It's not the largest percentage I've ever seen, but my bank gives me that every 5 years, whether I want it or not. I get 0.5% on my savings. Okay, it takes 5 years for them to give me 0.5%. Here we get it every single day for 6 months. And if you don't think that's then we'll cover some figures in a minute. Yeah, we'll cover some figures in a minute. This means you can 4 times your money every day. Sorry, you can every year. Profits return to your trust wallet or your MetaMask wallet instantly in USDT BEP20. So there's no need to withdraw. It's already in your wallet. So this is a different setup from anything we've seen before. As you register in Fractional 3D, you connect your Tron wallet, your Trust wallet, your MetaMask wallet, whichever one it is. Okay, and so you put money into your wallet, and then you use that money to buy your plans in fractional 3D, and every day when you receive your profits, or at the end of the plan when you get all your money back, it just gets put back in your wallet. You don't need to withdraw it. If something happens to the platform, your money's still in your wallet. And you compound your passive earnings by buying more plans with your profits. So there's no built-in compounding system. You have to do it yourself. And you can earn direct bonuses, indirect bonuses, and matching bonuses up to 35% based on the volume your team brings into the company. And that, again, those bonuses get deposited directly into your wallet. So the basic rule is the larger your business, the more volume there is in your business, the greater your direct bonuses and indirect bonuses and matching bonuses are, the greater percentage. So that's kind of simple. Trade like crazy. The company has a team of 20 traders, and all results are verified in the back office through Bybit. Bybit is an independent verification system for crypto trading. You can also join, let's see if it's on this slide first before I say it. Average monthly earnings over the last 12 months are 15 to 30%, 15% to 30%. My experience is it pretty much 0.7% per day, which is about 21% per month. So that's kind of right in the middle there of that 15 to 30%. It's about 21% per month. And that's my experience, okay? You can buy a package for $20, $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000, and so on, all the way up to $10,000. And you can withdraw your profit every day or reinvest some or all of your profit. You buy more packages with profits. That's how you compound your passive income. It doesn't compound automatically for you. Compensation plan. There is a compensation plan for introducing others, and you get paid that compensation plan down 15 levels. There are matching bonuses for 5 levels. When I got involved in this, I sat there looking at all this money coming in. I didn't have a clue where it was coming from, but I've learned that it's partly compensation and partly matching bonuses. You can also qualify for what I call shiny objects. Okay, to some people like this in a business, they helps them focus their attention. Okay, when you achieve certain levels, you will qualify for a brand new iPhone. You could decide not to do that. You could say I want the cash equivalent, which is $1,500. When you get to another level, you can be awarded a MacBook, or the cash equivalent is $3,000. There's a Rolex watch. If you didn't want that, then it's $20,000 instead. Another watch, if you don't want that one, it's $60,000 instead. There's an Audi RS, and if you don't want that, then I believe you get $60,000 for that. Or the sorry, no, it's not. I don't know the price for that. Sorry. Or if you don't want the Lamborghini, you can get yourself a brand new Lamborghini. Or if you don't want that, you get $350,000 in cash. Okay, so these are the shiny objects. I don't think that's why we build businesses, but it's a nice incentive for some people. Without doing that, I'd probably never get to the point where I get myself a Lamborghini, because when I've got that much money, I probably wouldn't want to waste it on that. But if they're going to give me one, thank you very much. I'll have that. I'll take that. So number 4 is the Freedom Matrix. The company, Freedom Matrix, has created a roadmap to freedom. So you can sign up for free as a member. And if introducing others, I'd suggest you also sign up as an affiliate and or a network originator. And this is really because as other people get involved, there's a commission payable on the money that they create, the money that they recoup. Okay, and you can cut yourself in for a slice of the pie. If you don't do that, it doesn't mean that they get to keep it, because that money's put aside anyway, so you might as well have it. You know, it's either you have it or the company keeps it, so you may as well have it. Initially, this is what we're doing right now. In April 2024, we pay to recoup your checking accounts or your current account outgoings for the year 2022. Okay, now if you've got 4 bank accounts, then you pay £4,000. If you've got 2 bank accounts, it's £2,000. Personally, I had 1 business account and 1 personal account. I've got some others, but then, I'm not doing that this time round. I might do it in the future. So mine was £1,000 for the personal account and £2,000 for the business account. When that goes through in July, then the amount that I recoup from both of those bank accounts will be about £150,000, which is about $188,000 USD. So I think that's a good use of £3,000. If you didn't want to do that, if you just wanted to say, well, let's test it out with one account to just see how it goes, then it'll cost you £1,000. Now, as soon as we've recouped our 2022 money, then we'll start on 2023. That'll be from about August onwards. And then in January next year, we're going to start on 2024. And then every year after that, in the January or February, we'll recoup the year previous. So then what you do is use this recoupment money to reclaim subsequent years of bank accounts, loans, mortgages, etc. So everything you want to recoup the money for, there's a cost associated with it. Once you've recouped your initial one or two bank accounts, you then have that extra cash that you can claim back. There's a price list for all the different things. If you wanted to recoup a £500,000 mortgage, $500,000 mortgage, okay, it'll cost you £5,000, $5,000. So so you've recouped your bank account, you use that money then to pay for the mortgage recoupment. And then once you've claimed back all the money that you can claim back, you can actually create new currency. And some of you will know how money is created. It's not done the way that we think it is. It's not the bank generating money and giving it to us. You generate the money. When you sign a mortgage mortgage application, you create that money. That's your money. It didn't exist before you signed that bit of paper. Now it exists. You're entitled to that money. And I'll show you a system where you can go back to all the mortgages you've ever had, okay, and make a claim for all of that money back that you've ever created. The banks fool us into thinking that they gave it to us and therefore we've got to repay them for it. That's absolutely not true. That's not how money works. If ever they said to you, we'll transfer the money to you, they lied, and they can go to prison for that. More likely what they said is, the money will be in your checking account, or your money will be, get your solicitor to write to us and we'll send, we'll make sure they get the money. Okay, because they don't actually create the money, they don't transfer the money, you created the money. And you can then create new currency as much as you need to live a life of abundance. If you want a yacht or a house in the south of France or whatever else you want, it's yours. All you've got to do is claim it, make it happen. So they're the platforms we have available to us right now. I'm very excited about them. They work together really well. And we're going to be adding another couple of platforms fairly soon. So our communications, we run a Telegram group, so make sure you upline adds you to that group so you can keep up to date with changes. I post everything in that Telegram group. So if people say, well, I didn't know about this Zoom meeting or this happening or changes to that, okay, I can't possibly send it to everybody, but I do make sure and keep the Telegram group up to date. We hold this Zoom call every Sunday at 8 p.m. UK time, so attend yourself, bring new people, make sure your people attend. If you want to grow fast, get them on the Zoom call. It's a shortcut. It's the fastest way of doing it. Attend the Zoom calls of the platforms. Most of them have Zoom calls every day. Pardon me. Yeah, they have Zoom calls every day. So get on the, like I say, you haven't got to be the expert, but you do need to know something. You can take people with you, or you can just send people. And we keep you up to date with when these Zoom calls are happening. For Freedom Matrix, it's slightly different. Once you join, you'll work out with them what your target is, and then you can work your way through. They'll give you a list of webinars and books and things like that, and they'll keep track of once you've watched a webinar, they'll tick it off. And when you've done certain things, then you can go ahead and submit these forms and it's all ready to go. Okay, so get the first roadmap completed as soon as possible. That's the key to unlocking everything else. Once you've got the money back from that, You can then unlock everything else. Where are we? Why have I lost my mouse again? There we go. So what do you do now? Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation. Register at all the opportunities and make a note of all your referral links, and pass these links on to your existing frontline members or to people that you invite to see this presentation. Make a minimum payment into all the opportunities. If you can't do this, select the project that interests you the most and make minimum payments to get that platform started. With Freedom Matrix, the lowest entry point is £1,000, which is something like $1,200 US, $1,250, something like that. Okay, so it may take you a little while to save that up, but just be aware that it will be worth it because it will unlock unlimited wealth after you've done that initial step. But it may take you a little while to get that. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Anybody, any member can add their own members, but don't just invite people willy-nilly. Make sure they're signing up in Wealth Warriors or in one of our platforms. Okay, we're pretty good at avoiding spammers rather, but they do get in once in a while. So don't make it easy for them. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform you've attended, so that you've added funds to your account. As new platforms are added, so this is a key thing, as new platforms are added, make sure to get the referral link of your upline and join as quickly as possible. Pass your referral link to your existing team and get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. If you want to get a Wealthy Warriors landing page, sign up for a free account with System.io and then import My Funnel and email campaign from there. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of that. It's posted in the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Okay, but what you want to do then is once you've imported that, it'll import a landing page plus some emails and links to videos and things like that. But then what you need to do is to go into the email and change the referral links to your referral links. You don't want your friends signing up with me. Change the referral links to your referral links. There will soon be either a Property Robots or a, in fact, I think it's going to be fractional 3D landing page now. And there is a Trade Like Crazy landing page. I'm working on one. Again, you'll be able to download it for free from System.io from me. But at the moment, there's one that's a completely different person, completely independent of Wealth Warriors. But they produce this landing page and emails, and you can subscribe to that for $19.95 per month. Again, take a screenshot, watch that video. It's producing something called yourbackstage.io. So at some point, you'll need to sign up to yourbackstage.io, and you can then start using his landing pages. And it's not only landing pages, it's a complete system of once somebody's been to look at the landing page, the next day they get an email, they get an SMS message, and then the following day they get another email and another SMS message. I'm not getting into that much detail with my landing page because I just don't want to. I think that if people want to join, they'll join within the first couple of touches. We don't need to keep sending them emails for a month and a half, but it's up to you. So a quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only want to work with companies that are in it for the long term. Mostly we get that right, I think. We only want to work with companies that are above board. We want to build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. If you knew how many platforms I turn down every week, I spend huge amounts of time every week looking at platforms just to reject them. And of course, it causes friction because people become emotionally attached to the platforms that they think are good. And when I say it's not a good platform, it's a scam, or it's this, or it's that, it's not viable, it doesn't work, people get upset with me. But of course, that's not my problem. But it does mean that you don't have to do all that. We want to apply our rules. Now, I wish I'd written this slightly differently because this is actually the key thing. This is the turning point of the whole of the system. We want to apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We don't want to be at the mercy of any one company. We've developed this system not for the fun of it, not because I like us, messing around with different things, which is actually far more complicated than just having one platform at a time. We've done it because there's no other way to impose our will on the industry. Anything else we do, we're at the mercy of the people who produce the platforms. So doing this, the community is in charge of what the community get. We use the platforms. We're not controlled, being used by the platforms. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or your other credentials with anyone. Where is available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. If you don't know what this is or how to do it, Google 2FA. Mr. Google knows all of that good stuff. Similarly, if you don't know how to set up a MetaMask or a Trust wallet for the new fractional 3D, look it up in Google. Mr. Google knows all that good stuff. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. If you've got a safe, put them in the safe. But make sure the executors of your will or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your death. Wouldn't it be a shame to spend the next couple of years building up a huge mass of, a huge fortune of Bitcoin, and when something happens to you, nobody even knows you've got that Bitcoin, let alone how to access it. So make sure that somebody does know how to do that. So we're back to our shield maidens. Welcome to Wealth Warriors, financial freedom fighters. And hopefully now you can see why I'd see us as financial freedom fighters. Some of what I've spoken about this evening, you might be inclined to disbelieve. You might think I'm sort of a conspiracy theorist or conspiracy nut. Okay, but I know what I know. And if I didn't know it for sure, I would not tell you. You may not understand it because you don't know enough about it yet. But when you do, you realize that I've not said a single word out of place. I've not said a single word tonight that is wrong or unprovable or even debatable. Okay, so I do see us as financial freedom fighters for the modern age. And if you're not going to fight for your freedom, who's going to? So I'm going to finish up the presentation now, and we'll go back to the main room. And I'm going to switch off the recording.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.